Mr. Riley, how are you today, sir? Mr. Riley is wonderful today. So, Riley and I just got started with the hiking day a short while ago. Just left the lean-to, Rainbow Stream lean-to, I believe. Boom! Why did you stop me, Riley? Come on. Yes, we left the lean-to. And we're starting the hiking day. We have 14.8 miles from the lean-to to get to Golden Road. And I am looking forward to getting there, because my dad's there, and I would love to get there by the end of the day today, no matter how late it is. I would love to get there, and my dad's sleeping in his in his car. He's got plenty of blankets, and I would love to join him tonight. When we started the hike, my dad was nice enough to drive Riley and us down to Amicalola Falls State Park. That was quite an adventure. Just getting there. Nice long drive, lots of fun. I enjoyed it. My dad didn't like all the winding roads, but we made it there, and he made it back fine. And when we got to the park, it was nighttime already, and we just spent the night in a parking lot, slept in the car, and we were fine. We were warm enough, we had enough room. Riley slept with us. So I would love to just get there tonight, spend the night with him in the car, and then the plan would be to hike on tomorrow into Baxter State Park, up to the Katadin Stream campground, and stay the night tomorrow night at the Birches, which is the last lean-to on trail. Come on, Riley. So there's two hikers back there at the lean-to. There's two hikers back there, and I think that's why Riley keeps stopping. He knows the hikers are back there. So it was a full house last night at the lean-to. Like I said in the closeout video yesterday, Riley and I got there about 4 p.m. and we decided to stop early in the day, because it had started raining and the skies were all clouded over. Like when I got there, it was actually a little before. It was maybe like 3:50 by the time we got there, a little before 4. But it had started raining as we were approaching the shelter. And I wasn't soaked, but I was getting my pants were starting to get wet. My rain jacket was doing a good job keeping me dry. But the skies were totally clouded over, and it just felt like it was getting dark. It felt like it was getting late in the day. I didn't know what time it was until I turned my phone on when I got to the shelter. I would have just kept hiking, but there were, and I wouldn't even stopped at the shelter, but Seashell and Lamp were both in the shelter, and Riley saw them and was like, oh, we gotta go say hi. So then of course I was happy to say hi to them, because once I realized who they were, we had spent the previous night together at Wadley Stream Shelter, and so they were deciding what to do as well. And in the process of talking to them, the rain it seemed like to intensify. seemed to get stronger. And I started feeling, you know, since I wasn't moving, I started to feel a little chilly. Plus I was slightly damp. And the rain just seemed like it was strong enough that if we continued to hike on, that I was worried that Riley and I were going to get soaked. And that would not be fun. It's no fun having wet clothes, especially going into a chilly night and then having to put wet clothes back on the next day. That's no fun at all. And the rain did start to taper off, you know, shortly after we got there, shortly after we made the decision to stay in the shelter, but then it started to intensify again. And so I'm definitely happy with my decision to stay in the shelter and just stay dry. Very happy, no regrets at all. Definitely think it was the right decision. We were able to have a comfortable night, good night's sleep, and then a comfortable morning. And I'm sure we would have survived, but you know, if we had hiked on, but definitely would have gotten wet and potentially would have been very uncomfortable. So after we got to the shelter, Abol Pines showed up. He was, for the whole day, I wasn't sure if he had already passed us in the, before I got started yesterday. Apparently he had not passed us, but he did arrive shortly after we got to the shelter. And then there was another another Riker. Oh my goodness. I said another Hocket first, and then I said another Riker. And I meant to say another hiker named Rocket. I'm just mixing up my my H's and my R's. Yes, another hiker named Rocket showed up after Abol Pines showed up. I'd met Rocket back at Logan Brook Lean-To. We spent the night there together. That was right after descending White Cat Mountain, which was a big accomplishment. Because it was like right as we were getting close to starting the relatively flat elevation section of the trail. And I remember Rocket showed up like close to midnight. I had already like fallen asleep. And so Rocket showed up last night. So we had, again, 5 people in the... All right, so Riley and I are at Rainbow Ledges currently. This is me. We're taking a break here. My previous shot that I did got cut short because I thought my battery had died, but it turns out my SD card, my memory card for my GoPro was all filled up. So I just kept hiking for a while, and it's about like 3:30 now, and I decided this would be a good spot to take a break, so I just got my new SD card that I've been carrying with me out and put it in. So we are, I'm going to flip to the last page here. We are right here, Rainbow Ledges. There's supposed to be a view of Katadin here. Let me get up and check. Stay there. No, stay there, Ray. Hold up. Alright, it might be out there. Hold up, buddy. I'll keep an eye out for it as we continue on. But at this sign here, there's a bunch of trees around us. Hold up, buddy. Got food in my mouth. Riley is licking the sausage packet here. So, I'm really hungry. The sausage tastes very good, very delicious. So we're currently like 2.5 miles from the next lean-to, Herd Brook. And then from there, I think it's supposed to be like 3.3 to Golden Road. When I left the shelter this morning, the guy, Rocket, was still there. He was planning to take a 0 today. And then he was also planning to summit on Thursday. And when I left, there was this other hiker, a section hiker who's doing the 100-mile wilderness named Ron, I think. He actually showed up. He hiked the full 8.1 miles from... Hey, Riley. Hey, you can lick, but you can't eat the friggin' plastic, dude. He showed up, and he was going to take a break there, and he showed up right as I was getting ready to leave. Seems like that happens a lot. Bro, you're making a mess, buddy. And he mentioned that Katadin was closed. And he was like, at least for today. And I didn't make too much of what he said. I didn't make too much of it. I was like, no way Katadin is closed. It hasn't closed, before the 20th, as far as I know, all the way back to 2016, and I have no information as far as... Riley, lick my fingers. I have no information as far as when it closed before 2016. But then I saw a southbound hiker just a short while ago. His name is Fireman. And he said he flip-flopped. And he summited Katadin on the 13th. And he said when he left that he saw signs saying that Katadin is closed. And he seemed to think that it's closed for the season. Like, no more hiking up Katadin. So I can hike to Katadin Stream Campground, but apparently I'm not supposed to hike up Katadin. So no reason to overreact here. It's kind of a bummer. But yeah, no reason to overreact here. We're still gonna try to get to Golden Road today and just get more information about it. I mean, I've only heard from 2 people what the deal is, and even if it is closed for the season, I've heard there's still a way to go back up. I think you have to request a permit or apply for a permit, but you can't go up like immediately. You have to wait until the snow on top of the mountain like settles into like a hard enough pack where you can walk on top of it and you're not like damaging any plant life or something. And you're supposed to get a guide or hire a guide to hike with you, since it's obviously more dangerous if there's snow. So basically they close it for this hiking season, but then they reopen it for winter hiking. Anyway, this is all stuff that I'll just have to look into if they are indeed closed, but we can only control what we can control. And yeah, we're just going to enjoy our break here. And it seems like whatever the case is, today is the last hiking day for Mr. Riley, because he wasn't going to hike into Baxter State Park anyway. And we are, at this point, I think we're 5.8 miles from Golden Road. And then there's a little bit more to hike to get to the boundary of Baxter State Park. So I'm still looking forward to getting to Golden Road and seeing my dad today. Very much looking forward to that. And then we'll just take it, one step at a time, get more information, and figure out what our next steps are. Yeah, so that's all we can do. All right, so I'll just say bye for now, and we'll check in later. All right, buddy. Beautiful day today, by the way. Lots of downed trees on the trail. Lots of downed trees. It doesn't seem like there's much trail maintenance being done. But I'm thankful that there haven't been many times where we've been able to just sit down and take a break because it's just been so cold. And But it's just a nice day today. It feels very comfortable. So we're gonna eat some food and then we'll continue on. Okay, bye for now. All right, continuing on here. I don't know where Katadin is. Could be over there, could be over there. I don't know. It's somewhere, it's somewhere. Riley, hold up, buddy. Let me go first. Hiking up to this section here, we were hiking up a section of trail where, like, I think we're going the right way. Where, like, basically there was like a stream just running down the entire trail, so we had to try to avoid just getting my feet soaked. We had to just like try our best to walk on the side of it, and sometimes we just walked and trampled the plant life, which you're not supposed to do, but I didn't want to walk just in the middle of the water. Yeah, I see a white blaze up there. All right. I was starting to get cold. Which I don't like. So we're continuing on, and hopefully we'll warm up. We should warm up now that we're walking again. I admit I'm feeling a little down now, hearing the news about Katadin, but like I said, still gotta get more information. But I am feeling down. So to clarify, Fireman apparently hiked up on the 13th, and he said when he was leaving the park, that's when he saw signs saying that Katadin was closed. So in that sense, I don't feel too bad, because if it is indeed closed, it's not like I missed it just by a day. Like, I missed it. All right, this is getting annoying, Riley. I missed it by multiple days, so it's not like I could have just done a little bit more. You know, I would have had to have done a lot more to make up those multiple days. Anyway, more information to be obtained. All I have left are 2 ramen packets, which were both gifted to me. One was gifted to me last night by Lamp, and another was gifted to me this morning by Rocket, who is staying in the shelter today, taking a 0, thinking that Katadin was still open, and he had time to hike in tomorrow to Golden Road and then try to do his summit on Thursday the 17th. So we got to get to Golden Road tonight, and hopefully we'll see my dad there. And I hear voices. All right, we'll check in later. Mr. Riley, all right, there was indeed another hiker. He's gone south up here, and I have a feeling that is Katadin right in front of us, and it looks like the peak is covered by the clouds. That just looks like a very imposing mountain. So I have a feeling that that's it. All right, Riley, we gotta, I'm feeling chilly. We gotta get down. And yeah, let's just continue on. Hold up, buddy. The trail is really wet here. So it's getting later in the day. I don't know what time it is. I haven't turned my phone on to look at the time, but it's probably definitely after 5 p.m., getting closer to 6, and it generally gets dark shortly after 6, or right around 6. It has really cooled down. I'm warm enough because I've been moving for a while. We've been hiking continuously since Rainbow Ledges, but it was nice and sunny up there with blue skies, and then I guess slowly while we were taking the break, and then shortly after, the clouds moved in and it's not sunny anymore. Of course, it's getting later in the day, and we actually passed the last lean-to, Herd Brook lean-to, a short while ago. All right, Riley is being ridiculous here. What are you doing, Riley? Why are you stopping? Come on, man. We gotta go. We gotta go, dude. Come on, buddy. What's wrong? So as we were approaching the lean-to, it started to rain. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what in the world? Fortunately, it has stopped now. It is not raining right now. But I was starting to freak out. I'm like, come on, just let us get to Golden Road without another friggin' rainstorm. And it seems to be letting us do that, but it seemed like it wasn't going to initially, so we'll see. Yeah, we passed Herd Brook lean-to maybe like 15 minutes ago, 10-15 minutes ago. And it's supposed to be just 3.3 miles to the road from that lean-to. 3.2 or 3.3, something like that. So we are going for it. We're trying to get there. Thank goodness we still have light to work with. I'm pretty sure it's going to get dark before we get to the road, so I'll have to get my headlamp out. The trail is just not easy at all. Very rocky and rooty. Very wet in stretches and muddy in stretches. It's always a challenge. Always a challenge. Very muddy here. I don't want to step. Riley, watch out, buddy. Hold up, buddy. Hold up. Hold up. Riley, what are you doing? You're just like walking right into that. It's because you're thirsty. You want a drink. Oh my goodness. Nothing wrong with taking a drink, Riley. I've not given Riley any water except for this morning, so he's been drinking from streams when he's had the opportunity. You want to drink more, Riley? If you want to drink more, you can drink more. Alright. I just don't want to get my feet wet, Riley. Alright, that seems... You gonna drink or... Come on, make up your mind, Riley. Alright. Come on, buddy. Let's go, Riley. Alright. I am just freaking out. At least it's not raining right now. We only have 2 packs of ramen on me. So I briefly considered, should we stay at that lean-to? Which, if it was raining hard, that's probably the best option so we don't get drenched. But we're continuing on. I've made the decision. We're continuing on. I want to get to the road and see my dad, see my wonderful dad. I'm so looking forward to seeing him. And then we can have assuming we can see him, hopefully he's there, we can have a good night tonight, safe and sound. Both Riley and I and my dad will be safe and sound in the car. We'll be warm, we'll be dry, we'll have plenty of food to eat. Riley will have plenty of food to eat. We're only like 3 miles away, and we just need to do what we can with the daylight we have and just be safe with every footstep. No sense in trying to go faster than we need to and slipping and falling and breaking my neck or something on these wet rocks. All right. All right, so that's all that's going through my mind. Just freaking out a bit, but trying to stay calm as well. Also, still, thinking about Katadin closing. Have not gotten any more information about it. That other guy that was on top of Rainbow Ledges, I didn't talk to him. Didn't ask him about Katadin at all. That's really not anything I should be concerned about right now. Just got to focus on focus on the present. And the goal at the present is to get to the road. Golden Road. And things will work out. And there's also that saying, which I absolutely believe in, it's not the destination, it's the journey. I'm not even that excited about hiking Mount Katadin. It's going to be friggin' hard, and it's going to be friggin' cold. And they closed the mountain for a reason, because they want to try to keep people safe, which is good. I appreciate that. And it is a hard mountain, and it is not safe to hike up there if the weather is bad, especially if you're ill-prepared. But I do want to, it does matter to me to complete the hike in a proper way as well. So that's all. Things will work out. With each footstep we take, we are getting closer to seeing my dad, and I'm so looking forward to seeing him. And I'm sure he's looking forward to seeing us. I'm hearing some raindrops again. It wasn't raining hard earlier, but it was starting to rain. It would start to rain a little bit, and then it would stop, and then it would start a little bit. And I was fearing that it was just like the beginning of, how rainstorms often start softly and then they intensify. So I was fearing that it was going to intensify. And I really hope that's not the case. And if it is going to intensify, I hope, hope is kind of worthless, but it's all I have. I hope it doesn't intensify until after we are at the road and in some type of shelter, like my dad's car, and safe and sound out of the rain. I have confidence that we will be safe tonight. Just gotta keep moving. All right, by the way, one more thing, just while it's on my mind. Yeah, I just wanted to mention, not a big deal at all, but I talked about it previously, many days ago before I got to Munson. There was this hiker named Colossus that I had met coming down Little Bigelow Mountain. as I was, a few days away from Munson, and he had asked me to say hello for him to Poet and Hippie Chick at Shaw's when I got there, and I was glad to do that, but I was concerned that I was going to forget, and I was particularly concerned that I was going to forget his name, but I did remember. I just wanted to say I did remember to say hello for him to both Poet and Hippie Chick at Shaw's, and they seemed to appreciate me passing on the message. And I just had forgotten to give an update on that in any of the videos, so I just wanted to mention that. Also, Riley, what in the world are you doing? Come on, we gotta keep going. Why are you stopping? We gotta go. Come on, dude. Okay. I apologize. I am like a boiling teapot here. Oh, getting very frustrated. I mean, I can see that it's getting dark, and thankful that it's not raining, but yeah, I don't like when we're losing the light and we still have a good bit of hiking to do. But I was also just going to say that my left leg is feeling much better. That injury that I had talked about previously that I was experiencing, I initially thought it was an issue with my hamstring. And I'm thinking it wasn't necessarily my hamstring. I'm thinking it was more possibly my hip flexor muscle. I think I just pulled a muscle on my left leg, and I think it was... I'll have to look closer to where the hip flexor actually is, but I have a feeling it was my hip flexor. Wherever that is. I just have a feeling that I just pulled it. And that was what was causing me discomfort for many, many days. And it's still tender, but I feel like it's like very much recovered at this point. I've been able to use my left leg pretty much as I want it today, and for the most part have not been having any serious discomfort from it, so that's good. I am having a little bit of an ankle issue though on my left leg. I've heard of something called shin splints. I think we gotta go this way. I'm walking up the trail here, and I don't know, like I just don't have the type of mobility that I am used to having around the ankle area. So I don't think it's serious, but I have been trying to relax that. This didn't just start today. It started a couple of days ago, I think. So seems like I have a revolving door of different nagging injuries, which is not the worst thing in the world. The worst thing would be, a very serious injury that just prevents me from hiking. And as long as these injuries, are recovering, and I'm able to hike with them and adapt my hiking style as needed to be able to continue hiking, and then eventually they heal, then it's all good. I'm not worried about that. So, again, I'm very thankful that it's not raining right now. And it's getting dark, but we have hiked in the dark before. It's not going to kill us, just got to be safe, and thank goodness the trail is fairly pleasant right now, and it should continue to... I mean, the trail can always throw surprises at us, but I think the trail should remain pleasant until the road, because like for southbounders, this is basically the very start of the 100-mile wilderness, and typically the hard stuff doesn't start immediately. Typically there's some relatively pleasant hiking, and then you lead up to the harder stuff. So I feel like we are in that, you know, we're past the last lean-to, and all that we have left is to get to the road. Basically, we're under 3 miles to go. We have rocks and roots to deal with, but pretty optimistic that we're not going to have any serious challenges from a terrain perspective. All right, hello. Riley and Van Gogh here. We're still alive, still in the AT. I have good news though. I'm feeling better. I've been checking far out to try to get a sense of where we are, and for the longest time, like the whole day today, my current location has not been updating. It just showed me back at the shelter where I stayed last night, the whole day. I mean, I haven't had my phone on the whole day, but whenever I have had my phone on to check the location, and I think the first time I turned it on was like around near Rainbow Light, or maybe, yeah, I turned it on somewhat early because I was curious, and it just updated just the last time I looked at it, and it said we are 0.4 away from Golden Road. So I am very relieved that we're only 0.4 away. We had 3.3 to go after leaving the Herdbrook lean-to, and it quickly got dark. And the last time I had my camera on, I was saying, thank goodness it's not raining. Well, it started raining, and it's tapered off now finally. But it started raining. It was like it was a light drizzle, not a heavy rain, a light drizzle, but a consistent drizzle. And it was very concerning to me. I was getting really freaking out. And I wasn't liking not knowing where I am. And then to cap it all off, there were some bog bridges that we had to walk over. A long series of bog bridges. Maybe like a tenth of a mile or so. That's a long series of bog bridges. And I got on one of the bridges shortly after we started. Riley, let me go first, dude. And I turned around just to make sure Riley was okay, and to make sure that like the leash wasn't tangled up. And when I did that, I slipped, and my right leg fell to the right side of the bog bridge. And I thought like it was just like moss underneath, but it turns out there was like ankle deep wet mud, and my foot just sunk right into it. And I tried to lift it out, and I couldn't initially. I couldn't lift it out. It was so deep in there. And then I had to like sit down on the bog bridge and really wiggle it out. And so now my right foot is soaked, my shoes muddy, my socks are wet. But I can live with that. It's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. We still have a light drizzle here, but I'm so relieved that we are less than 0.4 away. We should be at the road very soon, and then I just gotta keep my fingers crossed that I can find where my dad is. I know what his car looks like, so and I trust that he would do his best to stay as close to the trailhead as possible to make it easy for me to find him. So we'll see. If I can't find him, at least I'm confident that there's someplace around there where I can set up my tent. if for some reason I can't find them, but hopefully I can find them. I'm so relieved that we don't have much farther to go. I really don't like walking. Yeah, so like there's, you know, thank goodness like we're not in that situation on South Kinsman Mountain, but several of the, you know, that situation had 4 bad elements. It was dark, it was cold, it was wet, it was raining, and it was very difficult terrain. And extremely difficult terrain. And so this, you know, hiking now, it's not anywhere close to that, but it does have 2 of the elements, in that it's, well, it's dark. It's not raining as hard as it was on South Kinsman, but even just a little rain can add up over time if you're just out in it for a long time. So it's wet, dark and wet, and it's also cold. It's not freezing, but it is cold. And fortunately my rain jackets are doing a good job of keeping my core dry, so I don't feel like super chilled right now. And my pants are they're a little wet, but they're not super damp here. They could be a lot worse. Riley, come on, we gotta go. Come on, dude. And this is the 100-mile wilderness sign right here for southbounders. Riley, hold up, let me read this. I just took a cursory picture of it when I entered on the going northbound. So Appalachian Trail caution, it is 100 miles south to the nearest town at Monson. Yeah, we are 100 miles south of the nearest town at Monson. There are no places to obtain supplies or get help until Monson. Do not attempt unless you have a minimum of 10 days supplies and are fully equipped. This is the longest wilderness section of the entire AT. There might be someone camped over there, I'm not sure. Of the entire AT, and its difficulty should not be underestimated. All right, yep. All right, so this means we are very close to exiting here. Thank goodness. Riley and I started on the 6th. There's definitely a headlamp over there. Somebody might be camped over there. We started on the 6th of October. Today is the 15th of October. Riley, stay behind me. So we have taken 10 full days to get through the 100-mile wilderness. 9 full hiking days. One of those days was a 0 that we took. It was Monday the 7th because it was raining all day. Riley, calm down, dude. All right. I might as well just film here until we get out to the road because we're very close. Riley's got his rain jacket on as well. And I think the reason we're staying warm, well, for one thing, we have our rain gear on, so that has helped us to stay dry. But, you know, we're also moving. If we were to stop, I'm sure we would get cold pretty quickly. All right, I am very relieved that we're getting to the road here. Shake, 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 Riley. We should be at the road very soon. Rather soon. I think I hear a car. I definitely hear a car. definitely hear vehicles. We're very close to the road. I see lights. I see lights. Do you see lights, Riley? You're getting excited too. There's headlights right over there. Yep. We are close to Golden Road here, buddy. Golden Road. Here we go. All right. It's okay, big guy, Riley. It's okay, Riley. Riley, calm down, buddy. Calm down. Let's see what the sign says here. Herd Brook Lean to 3.3, Rainbow Ledges 6, Rainbow Lake Outlet 12.7, Nessuntabunt Mountain 21, Joe Mary Road 40.7. Yes, I remember all those things. All right, so I think we need to go left here on the road. Pretty sure we need to go left. All right, so Riley and I have walked the length of Golden Road, past Abol Pines, past Abol Bridge Campground. I don't know. I haven't seen where my dad is yet. And we're now at this sign here that says Baxter State Park boundary is in 0.2 miles, and then there's a sign, Baxter State Park, all Katadin trails are closed at the trailhead. Baxter State Park, Maine. All right, so we're gonna walk back to Abol Pines campground, and I think Riley found some food there. So I have no dog food on me. I just have 2 ramens packets, and we're just gonna find a place to, I think there's supposed to be some lean-tos at the campground, so we'll try to find where those are, and we'll just try to settle down for the night once Riley decides to let me go. All right, so this is the last update for the day. I have been unable to find my dad. So that's disappointing. I was so looking forward to seeing him tonight. Don't know where he is, and I don't have cell service. Haven't had cell service at all ever since, you know, thank goodness I had cell service on the top of White Cat Mountain, but haven't had cell service ever since then. Don't have cell service now. So we got to Golden Road, and there's the AT actually continues eastward in the, you have to make a right on Golden Road to continue on the AT, and the AT continues for 0.6 of a mile, and then ultimately then you make a left turn into the woods to enter Baxter State Park in a couple tenths of a mile after entering the woods. And so Riley and I walked the entire 0.6 of a mile on the left, you know, like so 0.2 of a mile after getting to Golden Road, there's this bridge. You walk over the bridge. The bridge is over something called the Penobscot River, I believe. And then shortly after that, there's Abol Bridge Camp Store and Abol Bridge Campground. The campground, I believe, is behind the store, but the store is closed for the season now. I think they close at the end of September. So the store is closed, and then there's another campground called Abol Pines, which is across the street. Anyway, so we hiked all the way down the full 0.6 of a mile down to where the AT continues into the woods. There was a parking lot where I saw a couple SUVs parked, and I figured if my dad was parked somewhere, he would be parked there. I didn't see him there. And anyway, so we hiked all the way the 0.6 of a mile down to that sign that's where we saw that notification that all trails to Katadin are closed at the trailhead. Then we walked back, and I found Abol Pines. So Abol Pines is another campground. It's on the other side of the street from the camp store. The camp store is really easy to see because there's a building. It's very, very obvious to see. But there was no sign indicating Abol Pines campground. And anyway, I'm just mentioning Abol Pines campground because that's where Riley and I are right now. I didn't venture into the Abol Bridge campground. I did see like a gate where there were some vehicles parked, but I didn't see any indication of my dad's car. And I decided to go into Abol Pines campground because just on far out it says that they have 2 lean-tos. It just seemed like it would be easier for Riley and I to stay here. Although I'm guessing there's nobody like working at any of these campgrounds at this point. I think the season is just over for camping. So for Abol Pines campground, there was no sign. There was just like a gravel road that kind of led into the woods, and so Riley and I followed it, and we were able to find. And then there is a parking lot shortly after, and there was another SUV parked there. And then there's 2 lean-tos. We got to the first lean-to, and there was actually 2 people staying there tonight. I asked them if they had cell service, and they didn't. But they referred me to. I mean, I'm sure if I wanted to stay with them, I could have. But they also mentioned there was another lean-to, just a little ways down, and so Riley and I are. That's where Riley and I are right now. We're the only people here. It's a small lean-to, probably space for about 5 people, but it's just Riley and I here tonight. And I was able to get water from the river, and there's a picnic table right in front of us, so we're safe and sound. That's the important thing. It's not raining right now, but at least if it does rain overnight, we are well protected in the lean-to. And I'm gonna have my ramen. I'm gonna have both ramen packets. I fed the last of Riley's dog food to him earlier today when we were on Rainbow Ledges. And so at this point, Riley and I are just in a waiting mode. We can't hike any further because hiking into Baxter State Park with Riley is not allowed. Dogs are not allowed in Baxter State Park, and the whole plan was for me to meet up with my parents here at Golden Road, and they're going to take control of Riley, and then I was going to hike in, but now we need to figure out what the deal is with Katadin. So Riley and I are going to spend the night here, and then we'll get up in the morning and go, and I think we'll just go ahead and hang out around the camp store, so that we're visible for any cars that are passing by. And I think it'll be a lot easier to, assuming my dad's in the area and he's looking for us, I assume it'll be easier to find him tomorrow once it's daylight. All right, so that's the update. And I don't think I even mentioned what day it is. So today is Tuesday, October 15th, day 166 of our through hike. Today is like the day that I've been targeting the entire hike to summit Katadin, but we're at mile 2182.4 right now, so we're exactly 15 miles away from the summit of Katadin. It's about a 10-mile hike into Baxter State Park to Katadin Stream Campground, and then another 5 mile, or a little over 5 miles up Mount Katadin. So we've come so far, so far. We're at the tail end of this, and a lot of uncertainty right now. I first gotta connect with my dad and that's number one priority, and then figure out and then just figure out whether I can actually hike up Katadin or not. I can definitely hike into Baxter State Park to Katadin Stream Campground. That's a relatively easy 10-mile hike. But yeah, first priority is just connecting with my dad and making sure Riley's well taken care of. And after I eat these ramens, we're going to be totally out of food. So there's no sense in continuing to hike until I can get more food. So we're just going to hang out at the camp store. And if we need help or get a ride into town, hopefully there's somebody that can help us. But for now, we're safe. We have shelter. We're going to get a good night's sleep tonight. And yeah, things will work out. Things will work out. Hope everyone's doing well. And I'll say good night. Say good night for day 166, Tuesday, October 15th. All right, bye for now.